right, everybody. Welcome to the Rise 41 podcast and to the seventh episode of our Overcoming Adversity series. I am thrilled to have, for the first time, two people on the podcast. This is a first right here. I'm your host, Gonzalo Gonzo Herrero, and today I have the privilege of welcoming Kelly Davey and Esfandiar Beikmohammadi. Did I say
That's
that right? Or
yeah, you
close
did.
enough, hopefully.
Yeah,
And they have an amazing story to tell us about survival, courage, love, also. And it's truly inspiring. It literally it stopped me in my tracks when I found out about this story, which is why I was so glad that you both decided to join the podcast. So let's start with tell us a little bit about yourselves.
yeah. You want to start?
I'll start.
Yes.
Yep. Hi, I'm Kelly. I am Esfandiar's fiance. We've been together for about a year now.
Yeah.
And before everything, I was trained as a doctor of chiropractic.
Yes.
So I just got my doctor of chiropractic. Yep. So I'm in the medical field. And then now I am a full-time cheerleader and coach and a content creator,
Yeah.
sharing our stories.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
that. Love
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you?
Oh
Esfandiar?
yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Esfandiar Beikmohammadi. I was born and grew up in Tehran, Iran, but I moved here in 2010 to do my master's in engineering management.
Yep.
That the opportunity happened.
Uh-huh.
And now we are here in front of you, but I'm full-time content creator.
Now we are.
Yeah.
Love
And
it. Living the dream.
Right?
yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so tell us what is the reason we invited you here is you have a very unique and
Yeah.
inspiring story, a strong story to share. So please go ahead without any interruption from me.
I'm gonna say the first part Hawaii, and then after it's
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
So we were in Hawaii for the Ironman Hawaii, right?
Yep.
What was the name of the Ironman?
Honu.
Honu, Ironman Honu.
Yeah.
So there, I was going for the run, and I asked Kelly, "Do you want to join me?" She joined me,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And during that time, we were doing a plant-based diet, everything.
Plant-based, vegan,
Yes.
all of it. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
healthy.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
We were healthy, we were active, everything. And both of us, we are sober.
Yep.
Right.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we came back here. I went for a run.
We went together.
We went for a run, but during that day, the only thing I remember is like I did an interview at the aerospace company,
Yeah.
and then after the interview, I don't remember anything. So you can go ahead.
Yep. So after the interview, it kind of goes dark
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then, so we were on a run. We were training for Ironman Santa Cruz.
Mhm.
And so we were like just on like a Friday afternoon run together. And so we went for a run and we're walking home from the run. And we're on the sidewalk and he's on the outside because he's a gentleman, of course.
Right.
And we're walking with the cars, and a car
Mhm.
came up on the sidewalk, jumped the sidewalk, was driving behind Esfandiar, hit him, and I look and like I felt a whoosh of air, and I look over and he's barrel rolling in the air. Yeah.
Wow.
So then he lands on the ground. My first instinct is I start laughing. I'm like, oh, he's fine, like ha, you know. And then I look over and he hasn't moved. And then I run to him. He's on the ground seizing like this.
Right.
He's like bleeding and like everything, like he has a broken leg. And so I just like literally my first instinct, I'm just like there. I'm just like, honey, stay with me. I'm like, come on, like keep breathing. And I'm like, I didn't have my phone because we were running. So I'm just in literally like a t-shirt and shorts and my sneakers. He had our
Right.
house key and the phone.
Yeah.
And he's just seizing on the ground, completely unconscious, doesn't hear me. I'm calling for I'm like, please, someone call 911 and like someone help me, like help me. I can't tell you if it was like 1 minute or 5 minutes, but like it was the longest like time of my life where he was just
Sure.
laying there and I was just holding him. And then the ambulance came. They brought him to the hospital. There was a trauma surgeon. He was the first guy that saw you. And he told me he was like, he has a diffuse axonal injury. So basically,
Okay, so what does that? Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the layman?
so he was hit so hard that his brain, like imagine this are the two halves of your brain, his brain
Right.
came loose. So
Wow.
it shook apart all the neurons of his brain. So literally just shook everything
Wow.
apart. Yeah.
This is
Because
from the impact, from the crash, from the.
Yes.
the driver was going 32 miles per hour
Okay.
and we were walking. So we were going 0. So
Mm.
imagine literally
Right.
getting hit at 32 miles per hour. And
Yeah.
his body just absorbed the impact
Sure.
in the air.
Sure. And
Yeah.
and it's 35 miles an hour times the weight of that vehicle hitting you. So, oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
Yeah.
So now I understand, by the way, when you said at first you didn't realize how, because 35, we think of 30 miles an hour as not very fast, just kind of
Yeah.
like a slow cruise.
So
But
slow.
then, and what could prepare you for something like that, or to react to that? So, wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
And like, just because the car came up behind us, like it just, because we had no time to react either. He couldn't do
Right.
anything to protect himself, nothing. Yeah.
Right. It's not like you
Really,
could try and jump or something. Wow.
I'm
Okay.
usually aware of my
we're so aware of
surrounding,
everything.
but I don't remember anything
No.
that has happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So
Wow.
then anyway, fast forward, the trauma surgeon, he was very like, he painted the worst picture for me. He was like, he's going to be in a long-term care center for the rest of his life. You should like taper your expectations. Like if he wakes up, he's not going to be who he was. He's not going to be like, I don't think he'll be able to talk. I don't think he'll be able to do all of these things. So like
Wow.
he used to do Ironmans, like forget
Right.
that.
Right.
And then literally I would like the whole time, like I was just like, I was like, okay, thank you for your opinion. And like the whole time, my whole being, I was just like, that's not who he is. That's not how his story ends. I was like, that's not how our
Right.
story ends. Like it doesn't end right here in this bed. No way.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened then?
So then he was just in a coma. He had like it's called a Glasgow coma scale. It's basically how alert and aware you are. Like normal human beings, we're at like 15 plus, right? So we want to be at 15. He came in at 4.
Wow.
He
Okay.
was completely in like a vegetative state almost. Like he wouldn't respond to his name. He had lost some of his reflexes, everything. So at that point, he's basically like, you just follow him every day and monitor his reflexes. So every couple hours, they just did the reflexes. They would try and like wean him off the sedation, but he would start having what's called neurostorm. So his body, like his brain was just sending out signals and nothing
Right.
was like receiving it or processing it. So he was like, it was basically he was trying to like wake up, but like he wasn't ready yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we just had to wait until he was ready, which ended up being like 21 days until
Wow.
he 21 days of him being asleep. He had to get a trach. So they cut a hole right here. You can see
Right.
the trach right there. He had a feeding peg because he wasn't able to have food or anything,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then,
Wow.
yeah. And then when he woke up, he was kind of in limbo for 2 weeks. So like he was lights on, like his eyes were open, but he wasn't himself. So he wouldn't I would call his name. I would talk to him. There was like no response, nothing. And so every day I just sat there. I made a photo album. I just showed him pictures every day. I wore his t-shirts.
Wow.
I wore his cologne. I talked to him, like his whole family. We all did.
Yeah.
And then I took every meal literally at the hospital with him. I was just there the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then one day he just woke up. They're like, they called me and they're like, he's asking for you. I was like, he's asking for me?
So now he recognizes you. Now we're starting to come back. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I can only imagine what that felt like.
Yeah. So then he rejoined like his body.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And this was, so how long ago was this?
This
That
was
you came out
August.
of the.
August. So the accident happened in June. July
Right.
was completely like just in a coma,
Right.
nothing. And then like the late August, he woke up.
Okay. And it's December, so we're talking a few months only, and here you are talking to us, which is
Literally.
incredible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, so once eventually you leave the hospital, what happens next? What do you used to do for employment? How does this change? How does life get affected? If you can paint that picture.
Yeah. I have to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have this beautiful woman here, and I'm gonna marry her because every time in my life I picked the hard things to do.
Uh-huh.
So it was 5-6 years ago. Okay.
What was your job?
Aerospace quality engineer.
Right.
Aerospace engineer.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Yes.
Yep.
It was the second company, and I was the deepest guy, and I was waking up.
You're depressed. Yeah.
I was depressed.
Sure.
I was waking up 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym, But on my way to the gym, I was watching this motivational video
Hmm.
about doing Ironmans. And
Right.
at the time, I couldn't even fathom that you could do Ironmans. But I was programming my subconscious mind that if you want it,
It's
you can do
you
Ironmans.
can get it. Wow.
Yes, yes,
And an
yes.
Ironman, for those who might not be in the fitness
Mm.
field,
Mhm.
involves it's running, biking, and swimming, correct? Is
Yes,
that
it
right?
starts with
Okay.
swimming and then biking and then finish with the runs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So so for those of you who are not familiar with this is not for the faint of heart or people who
No.
are not in pretty good shape, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And then I'm gonna tell you this story. It's about my first half Ironman in Oceanside. A
Mhm.
week prior to the race, I was a pro swimmer when I was a kid, and Kelly is a pro swimmer too. But it was 20 years since I had the last pro swim.
Mhm.
So
Wow. Mhm.
yeah, the distance equivalent it was like 84 laps,
84 laps in a pool.
84 laps in a
Yeah.
pool. I couldn't even
Okay.
finish 2 laps 1 week prior to the race.
Yeah.
There are like
Uh,
people that they would train for this race for 6 months
Years.
above.
mhm.
I didn't train anything.
Right.
So a week prior to the race, I bought my bike. Yeah. So even the guy at the Specialized, he was like, "Oh, you look serious about the bike. Are you gonna do any race?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do a half Ironman in Oceanside next week." He was like, he just started laughing. Nobody believed in me that I could do it.
Mhm.
So everything in my head, I was like, um, instead of 85, I couldn't finish two. I couldn't finish two.
2 laps.
So
Yeah.
2 laps.
Mhm.
It was in my head, right? So
Right.
we went to the race. The morning after the race, I never tried the wetsuit. I never tried the open water, anything. There, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Before
Just
the swim, there were like three guys. Out of those three, two of them they were like, "There's no way that you're gonna finish this race." The third one, he was like, "You're gonna finish the race, but you're gonna have a hard time. If you're ready to tackle this hard time, you can be able to do it." So
mhm.
fast forward, we got into water. It was first time wearing the wetsuit. I was almost, I couldn't breathe, right?
Right.
And yes, and couple of hundreds, it was a lifeguard.
Couple hundred yards away, there's
Yes,
another lifeguard. Yeah,
yeah,
in the
Okay.
water.
Okay.
it was lifeguards on a paddleboard. So I
Sure.
saw the first one, I saw the second one. Second one, I saw the guy that believed in me, and
Mhm.
he was like, "Dude, you can finish this if you let it go." So the third one, I was like, worst case, they're gonna pull me out of the water.
Right.
That positive self-talk, it pulled out all the self-doubt. I got in this beautiful flow. I took over 30 people. I finished the swim. Even the
Wow.
bike, yeah. The last 2 miles at my left knee, it was bothering me, but I couldn't. But I was like, I'm gonna finish the bike, and I went for a run. And for 8 hours, 14 minutes, I finished the Ironman Oceanside,
Wow.
and it was beautiful. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be able to do this. Anyone can do this. It's up to you that you want to tackle the hardest stuff or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love this. I love
yeah,
this. Again,
yeah,
resilience, right? Overcoming adversity. And like, there are two ways as humans we can deal with it, right? We can lay down and just let it wash over,
yes,
or we can face it and do the best we can, which clearly you guys took option number two. Very,
yes,
very
yeah,
clearly. So
yeah.
it's truly, truly impressive. Wow. So all right. So what is in the future? Content creation,
Yeah.
and
Concentration.
tell us a little bit about that. Like what do
Um,
you envision? I heard marriage or something
Mhm.
there
yes,
for a
yes.
minute.
Before instead of the action, we call it opportunity to get
Hmm.
better.
Hmm.
Before the opportunity, I saw myself that I'm proposing to this woman at the end of the Ironman
Mhm.
when
Hmm.
we are passing the Ironman.
Yep.
So now the goal is to do the Ironman in Switzerland on June 2024. Yeah,
2025.
Wow.
2025.
Yep. So we're
Yes.
gonna. So in 6
So
months.
in a
Yeah.
year from
In
the
6 months.
from the
Yes.
opportunity, we're gonna
Yes.
1
call
year
it the.
from the
I like that, by the way.
Yeah.
So wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow,
I know
that
it's
is
a
a great goal.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big goal, but I want to try. I want to try to see. I'm like, I have that race in 6 months, I have 7 months, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
get ready for it.
Yeah.
Worst case, I'm gonna be able to do the swim. I'm gonna be able
Mhm.
to do the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
really
Hey,
well.
do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
You could.
Son.
Not a lot of people can actually walk 13.1 either. Not
yeah,
in one shot.
Yeah.
So that
yeah,
is impressive. Wow,
yeah.
that is an amazing goal. So you guys are going to be hopefully then kind of creating content
Yes,
and charting this whole thing, right? And recording this
Exactly.
yeah,
experience.
Yep.
Wow. Well,
And just
well,
sharing the
definitely.
story. Yeah.
yeah.
Will definitely keep us. We'll stay in touch, and I'll put updates if I can, because this is truly this is what we look for, like a truly incredible story that's got all the, and you have all the elements. You have like the opportunity happening, the
Mm,
adversity, and then you guys getting stronger even for it, which
yeah,
is truly remarkable. Like
yeah,
you guys have something magical. Yes, and
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
take pictures at the wedding. You
We
know,
will.
like,
We
We
will.
will.
Yeah.
please.
We will.
And as usual for the podcast, we always ask our guests if they can share something to inspire others, if like a lessons learned or some words. And clearly, you have many of those to share. So,
Yeah.
if you could pick one or two things maybe to share, we'd
Okay.
love to hear it.
You want to go
I
on?
think
I can go second.
I think my thing is dig deeper. You always have more in the
Yeah.
tank. If you think your tank is empty, you always have more. That's not you're not on empty yet. You always have a little
Yeah,
bit you can give. Yeah.
yeah. What is it that last rep is not really your last
Nope.
rep. You got
Yeah.
a couple more in the tank. Love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. Esfandiar, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got another story. I'm gonna be quick. It was my 100K race,
Uh huh.
right? And mile 31, 32.
Uh-huh.
I'm done. I was like, my body is done. And I was walking and I was recording myself. After that, something came to my head. I was like, I'm gonna say David Goggins.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Wow.
said the cookie jar. Reach the cookie
Yeah.
jar and get mine. I reached the cookie jar. All the people that they did bad stuff to me. I was sprinting at 7:30 pace when I think I was done. But
Right.
no, I was just running and one to the last stop.
The aid station.
Yeah,
Yep.
the aid station. I met two people,
Uh-huh.
a guy and a woman.
Uh-huh.
They were like, "Oh, if you are gonna go through this race, you're gonna be able to finish it." So I was passing the woman. She thought, "Are you chased by a mountain lion?" Because I was screaming. I was screaming and running.
Uh-huh. And what she
She
said?
Sure.
and I was like,
You
"Don't
said, "Don't
talk,
talk to me."
don't talk to me. I'm gonna refer it out." And even I passed the guy in on an
Mhm.
uphill. In an uphill, it won't walk, but I was just running,
Sprinting. Yeah.
sprinting.
Right.
The guy, he was scared. He went to the other side of the road to
Yeah.
make it open for me. But I was like, yeah, everything Kelly is saying is right. When you think that you have done it, everything,
No.
no, there's much more. If
There's
you
more in
dig
the tank.
deeper, yeah,
Mhm.
it's more than that. Yes,
Exactly. That's our
yeah,
story.
that's our
I
story.
love it. I love it. This
Yeah,
has been incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that
yeah,
with us and your story. You know, the beautiful thing about the story is like we're in the middle of it, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys are going
yes,
to continue writing the story, and it's going to
yeah,
be amazing. I am sure. I am sure.
yeah.
So with that, I'm going to say the goodbyes to the audience. So thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back soon with another episode and story of heroes like you that inspire us and show everyone how to overcome adversity. So thank you. And remember, assess, adapt, overcome. And this is Rise 41 signing off. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.